rag, empty post. And that really got them. They didn't say anything. They didn't have any reply to it. And suddenly they opened their minds and they looked at him again and they said, there is something special. And they decided that they would listen. And then he knew that they would listen and he said, as starts the sutta, Buddha explained to them, he said, "We may become anta papajitena nasiri." He said, there are two extremes that no recluse should ever follow. No one who has gone forth should ever follow. Both the extremes of sensual pleasure and the extremes of mortification. Torture yourself. These are the two extremes. He put it to them like this. He explained to them, yes, you're right. Indulging in sensual pleasures, living like ordinary people do, living like cows to the slaughter, thinking that we can just enjoy all sorts of things and never have to pay for it. That's the wrong way. That's hino, gamo, utaniko, and nario. Hino, gamo means it's the way of ordinary people, it's the way of villagers. And it's the way of cowboy. Hino, gamo, is the way of ordinary worldlings who are full of karma. Because it's true, but then there's also the other extreme. The extreme of torturing. You can say this one is the way of ordinary people, because ordinary people don't torture themselves. But many people in the world, religious people, torture themselves or do all sorts of practices that are totally unnecessary. Fasting, ritual and so on. And they don't undertake insight meditation. They don't try to look inside and to see what's happening here. So they don't become trainers. He said this one is oh, when you torture yourself, it's suffering, it's painful. You want to be suffering, why are you suffering? Why are you torturing yourself? Anariyo means it's not the way of the Arya. Lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You'll never get it. And so this was the first discourse of the Buddha. This is how it started. What we're celebrating here tonight is the first discourse of the Buddha, where he gave this profound teaching of the middle way. He said, by giving up these two extremes, I have found the middle way. And this was the first teaching the Buddha gave. The Buddha was alive was a Buddha before he passed away for 45 years in Bali. After he became enlightened to the time when he passed away, 45 years. And this was the very beginning. On this day, according to the Thai reckoning, 2,553 plus 45 90. Approximately 2,598 years ago. But for sure on this day, because we know it was the day of the moon, having the records. He met them right on the moon because he knew this would be a special occasion. This would be something that they would take service. And so what did he say was the middle way? He said the middle way was the Eightfold Noble Path. And this becomes the classic explanation of the Buddhist way, the way of the Buddha. This is the eight-part path that we use to explain all of the different parts of Buddhism. It's not really difficult to explain, but I'll go in brief. I'll just talk about the three parts. These eight things, which is the Eightfold Path, the path of the Buddha has eight. Breaks down into three parts. The first part is morality. So when you start practicing, you start with morality. The second part is concentration. And the third part is wisdom. And it goes in a circle because actually you have to start with some sort of wisdom. When I teach meditation, I can't make sure that people have morality first. I have to teach them. I have to bring them some kind of wisdom. Otherwise they'll never have morality. And so it goes in a circle. Once you have wisdom, then your morality comes. But what do we mean when we say start with morality? The path of the Buddha starts with morality because that's the coarsest part of our being. When we're sitting here, we can see how our body reacts. When a bad thing comes up, we right away want to adjust. When we're sitting and we feel pain, we don't like it. So we move. And this is, in a way, this is the breaking of our morality. The morality of a meditator is to not follow after the conditions of things that are rise to not give rise to bodily or verbal karma. Most especially the 5 bad things: not to kill, to steal, to lie, to cheat, to take drugs and alcohol. But deeper in a meditative sense, it means to guard the mind so that it doesn't lead to karma. It leads our body and our speech to become calm. So when we're sitting here, the first thing we have to do is close our eyes and put our hands in our lap. Just focus on the present moment. Try to calm our body so that all that's left is the breath. There's no movement of the body. And then we watch the stomach. The breath comes in, the body moves. This, the stomach will rise. So we see ourselves rising. And this is where our body is so quiet and speechless. And then we develop, once we start that, then we develop concentration. We watch them rising and falling. We see ourselves rising, falling, rising. And our mind becomes focused on the rising and falling. Once our mind becomes focused, then we start to see and understand things with our mind. We start to see all the liking and disliking, all of our judging and opinions. We see all of our suffering. We see how much suffering we have just by sitting still. We can have so much suffering and pain come up. Just by sitting here quietly, we feel a great amount of torture. Some people might even think that this is a form of torture. Close your eyes and sit still. This is because the mind is so stressed, so wound up, that we can't even sit still and be at peace with ourselves. So we train ourselves. We come to see all of these things about ourselves. We adjust and we change. We do a great service for ourselves, bringing about wisdom and understanding about how we work, the way our mind works. This is the path. Once he taught this path, and he taught this was teaching meditation. He taught these things, and he said, this is the way to become free from suffering. Then he said, why is this so important? Because there is suffering. Not what are called the moral, which basically means there is suffering. You can't live your life thinking that there is no suffering. You can't live your life thinking that there is no tomorrow and there is no problem. We can just eat, drink, and be merry and not have to train ourselves, not have to prepare ourselves for the future. There is a lot of pain and suffering in this world, and if we don't work hard, we're going to be caught up in it. When we die, we'll have to die in fear and worry and attachment.